Derby from Guerlain, 2005 re-edition from Les Parisiens line, review coming right up. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Angelos and this is my perfume vlog. I'm a Greek fragrance enthusiast, aka Greek perfume aficionado, and of course, please don't forget, if you enjoy my content and if you enjoy what you see, to subscribe and turn on the post notifications in order to stay up to date with any future uploads. So Derby from Guerlain, one of my favorite, more, let's say, masculine fragrances from their lines, from their perfume lines and perfume creations, which are numerous. I really can count how many perfumes they created. So back in 1985, one of the most important leather Chypré fragrances was created by Jean-Paul Guerlain, and it was Derby, of course. The gorgeous bottle representing the l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Unfortunately, I don't have this edition, this vintage edition, this gorgeous bottle from Guerlain, but instead I have this one, which is awesome, but by all means not the same thing, not the same richness and depth as the vintage creation. And it's totally normal, you know, some changes in the regulations, some adjustments for the raw materials, either synthetic or naturals. It's something that happens nowadays, so if the recreation, the re-edition is done right, which is done right here in my humble opinion, it's not an issue for me. It's not an issue if we have a re-edition or recreation. So with that said, the fragrance I have and we are going to look a little bit in depth is Derby, the 2005 re-edition or recreation. This beautiful again bottle from the Les Parisiens line. This line with the wooden frame around the clear bottle, and the cap is like that. Of course you have some details beneath. This is a 100 ml bottle, and this used to be the box of this fragrance. Now they changed it. It's actually the same size, but it's purple, deep purple color. And here you go, nothing extraordinary inside. And here are the details, the ingredients, of course, batch codes, etc. This one is from 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Guerlain, Derby, and we'll spray a little bit. Yes, it's gorgeous, and it's gorgeous especially this time of the year when we are having like these early, let's say, spring days. It's gorgeous outside, especially in my country, 15 degrees Celsius. It's quite sunny lately and this makes me super happy. Spring is my favorite season of the year, absolutely. I adore springtime. And I adore springtime regarding fragrances as well. I enjoy so much my floral fragrances, my Chypré fragrances during springtime. But anyway, we have to talk about Derby right now. Derby is a fragrance which is somewhere between Fougère and Chypré. So I'm sure most of you either know or heard about these categories, but briefly I will mention that these are two of the most important categories of perfume making, the Parisian, the French perfume making, and Fougère uses a lot of coumarin, the tonka bean, the most important ingredient or isolate included in tonka bean absolu, and also they use a lot of okmos. They used to use a lot of okmos, and also you have a fresh opening from geranium and lavender. This is Fougère a little bit, and patchouli, of course, the dry down. Some woody notes, some isolates from vetiver. Chypré is bergamot, some floral, intense floral notes at the heart of the fragrance. And at the dry down you have again okmos, this time patchouli and civet. Nowadays, you know, it's a little bit contradictory, the use of civet. Of course you have synthetic civet, but you can use some resinous balsamic amber notes like labdanum, for example. So this one is somewhere between Chypré and Fougère, and of course with leather note. And leather note, in my opinion, here is something like a styrax, so this is something like a sweet, a little bit more balsamic labdanum with a tad of animalic nuance. Let's break down the pyramid of Derby and you will understand why I'm saying it's between Fougères and Chypré. And the opening, it's not like very prominent citrusy opening, but you have citruses here, you have very well balanced citrus combo like lemon or bergamot or some other ingredients. It's a very well made and balanced citrus opening. And then you have this, let's say, floral and spicy heart of the fragrance, which consists of geranium. I think there are some isolates from the rose as well. You have this geranium rosy like background, but this is not the prominent note. The prominent note here is eugenol, and eugenol is the most prominent component of clove bud. So you have this very intense carnation and clove bud heart, floral heart in the pyramid, which gives a lot of spiciness and some floral nuances as well, because you get the idea of a carnation accord. Moving on to the base notes, the ones which are the most prominent along with eugenol or clove bud or what have you, or carnation accord, which stays for the whole life of this fragrance. You have this a little bit mossy, leathery accord again, leather accord, which I told you I think they used a little bit of styrax, this laudanum animalic, a little bit sweet and balsamic natural ingredient, amazing ingredient. And also they used patchouli, you have patchouli, you smell patchouli here, oakmoss as well. Oakmoss is definitely there along with the other raw materials which resemble a little bit oakmoss, because you probably know oakmoss is highly restricted if you want to compromise with Thifra, of course. You can also encounter a little bit of coumarin here, the isolate from tonka bean, this beautiful sweet mouth-watering ingredient which works wonder whenever you put it in a fragrance. Of course, you have to be careful because it's a very strong and powerful ingredient, so if you put a lot of coumarin, it's destroyed, you will smell only coumarin. Of course, we are talking about Jean-Paul Guerlain, and Jean-Paul Guerlain is one of the best perfumers ever worked for Guerlain, so the balance is extraordinary. You can imagine that. They used very potent and very woody and very intense leathery notes and accords and floral accords, and he managed to balance everything perfectly. So yes, this fragrance, which is between Chypré, Fougères and leather, of course, fragrances and spicy and woody fragrances, has the perfect balance. I would definitely recommend this for more formal occasions. I don't think it's very casual. You can wear it, of course, casually. You can wear fragrance whenever you like, of course. It's very subjective. No one can dictate you where and when to wear a fragrance and how to wear a fragrance, but my opinion is that this is probably a little bit more for formal occasions and probably for a little bit more mature guys. Over 30, it's definitely more, let's say, suitable. I think it's for both genders as well. It's supposedly one of the most masculine Guerlain fragrances, but I think it's totally unisex, because you have here the carnation accord, you have the Chypré little bit base, the oakmoss, the patchouli, the florals. Why not? I forgot to mention the price. I think now it sells for 215 euros for the 100 ml, which is, in my humble opinion, quite decent. It's not affordable by all means, but it's quite decent. If I have to think some fragrances how much they sell, yes, this is totally decent, because you are getting a really beautiful fragrance, really classy, beautiful fragrance, which can resemble a little bit to vintage fragrances from the past, but has a little bit of a modern touch as well. It's not so intensely vintage perfume. So I recommend you put your nose on this stuff. Probably it's not so difficult to find samples. Let me know if you already know this fragrance, if you already have this fragrance. Please let me know your opinion on how do you like this fragrance, if you enjoy this leathery Chypré fougere combo. So yes, please let me know in the comment section down below, and of course till the next one. Cheers!